What's good? Welcome to First Stream Podcast presented by Bet Rivers. On today's episode of First Stream Podcast, we got the one and only Doc Walker. We're going to go over the NCAA Championships, men and women's basketball championships. And how about that? A pair of cousins, back-to-back champions. The family reunion is going to be really interesting. We're going to give you a couple of Masters picks. We're also going to bring you a little bit of rivalry needed inside the women's college division. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all ready? Let's go.
Ready for your beats? Our first song to the person.
Welcome back to First Stream Podcast presented by Bet Rivers. Make sure you guys download the Bet Rivers app or go to www.betrivers.com. You must be 21 years or older to play. Coming out that break, I swear, it just cut off real fast, and y'all caught me dancing a little bit. But don't forget to give us a good thumbs up. Leave comments. Tell a friend to tell a friend about First Stream Podcast. Don't forget to hit the bell to enable alerts for new content just like this. You ready, Said? All right. Let's bring in my guy, Said, Stats and Facts. What's good, man? How are you?
What's going on, my brother?
Hey, looking good, looking spliffy.
For sure.
You got your real eyes on today?
yeah, there it is.
There it is. Okay. There it is. Okay. Lady A, how are you, ma'am?
Hello, and I'm a little concerned. We already know when Sed got his real eyes, it's a problem.
It's a problem, a little bit. It's a little bit of a problem. But
Look, he got a smirk on his face. Don't you start, Sed. Don't you start. Not today.
Said I got my real eyes on. I'm good. Hey, Ant's going to be with us here in a little bit. And yes, the one and only Doc Walker will be with us really soon, shortly, too. You guys know that they switched around some time slots at the station. So he bouncing back and forth a little bit. All right. So last night we had the UCONN men defeat the San Diego Aztecs in the NCAA championship game. All right. So I'm going to ask you guys this. What have you guys seen that UConn came out of nowhere and just destroyed everybody by double digits? I didn't see it coming, but one Drew, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Happened to pick one of the correct teams. But what did you guys see from this happening? Transfer portal and all that, plays a big part, but for the most part, UConn just came out and straight dominated.
I mean, UConn wasn't necessarily a bad team, clearly. It's just that they exceeded expectations. And I mean, what more can you say? They came in and got the job done. But at the same time, apparently a lot of people are just really underwhelmed by the game in general. But I mean, they made the best man win, or made the best team win. And that's kind of where we were. It wasn't all that exciting, but they just came in, did what they needed to do, and handled it. And truthfully, the events that happened after that particular game was probably more eventful because like a whole bunch of people got arrested and the whole nine. But
Yeah, I heard they used a telephone, a street light as a battering ram.
yeah,
That was breaking in the buildings on campus.
it was a hot mess. But the game was pretty, pretty chill, and they just came in and did what they should do. That's what they're here for.
Can I be honest real fast? Can I be honest? I'm gonna tell y'all a little something, okay? I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
I fell asleep.
That's bad.
Right.
That's bad.
I fell asleep on the game. Don't tell nobody. But it was what it was. Now UConn's big man.
Mm-hmm.
UConn's big man. I think that they are still having nightmares about him.
Metaphor.
Yeah. I got you, metaphor. I got you. We got you, metaphor.
No, I'm talking about before that.
We're not on that one yet.
You talking about this one right here? You talking about that one? Yeah.
What I can say is, when you look at the bracket for UConn, it fell just right for UConn.
Right.
You know, number 13, Iona. Then St. Mary's. And then we all know Gonzaga always choke for the game, for the big game.
We always been saying
Unfortunately.
that. Those ain't jokes. Those are facts by Gonzaga.
Right. Or they choke in the big game.
The year before that. And
yeah, they can look as nice as they want to in the season, but when March hit, it's something different.
It's different.
Yeah, it fell just right for UConn as you look at it. Number 1 seed got knocked out by Arkansas. The number 2 seed got knocked out by was it UNC Asheville? UNC? No. I tell you back, it was Northwestern. No, I tell you back, UCLA got knocked out by Gonzaga. They got knocked out by Gonzaga.
It was uneventful.
Yeah. Say.
It was somewhere in there, but I mean, and so you take out 1, you take out 2, then you got 3 and 4, which is Gonzaga's 3, UConn is 4, and UConn right through the middle.
So
they had a little harder path, but it still wasn't that bad.
But they played San Diego State.
But y'all act like San Diego State can't play defense.
What I'm saying is we didn't expect them to be in anybody's championship either.
Right. Yeah, but the one thing you can't say or take from them is they played really good defense. Now they have a problem scoring the ball, but they play really good defense. Look at the beginning of the game, right? San Diego State came out on fire. Right, they came out on fire. Hey, we are being joined by the one and only Ant-Mo right now. What's happening, Ant?
He's sipping tea already. I don't know.
What's going on, guys?
We got State with his real eyes.
Let me do my Oprah wave. Hi.
We're in trouble today.
What did I miss?
We just talking UConn and San Diego State, the game last night. If y'all haven't noticed, Lady A will be up to par soon. Y'all can see y'all see big things popping.
That is because of a certain person that
was impatient.
Yes.
I was hangry on Saturday.
Did me dirty.
I can't lie. I was hangry. On Saturday, so I didn't get her stuff in the mail.
Did me dirty, y'all.
It's my fault. All that pressure on me. I said I got to put a package in the mail for William 2 big rooms if that's okay.
Hey, get it right. And they said,
you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? He was
right now.
We can always find another Ant-Mo for the show. I'm like, hey, bro, why are you talking to me like that, bro? Like I
so disrespectful, right?
You know what? And you probably should have brought me because we got the machine. You got the machine out front?
The machine? The blue box?
Yeah. They can process package out front.
Yeah, but hold on.
We don't got that.
Hold on. All right, let's get into it right now. Because I'm gonna bring this topic back because everybody's ready for this topic right now, okay? But I'm gonna come at y'all. I'm gonna come at y'all a different way.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. We going right there with it. All right.
Go ahead with it.
So we had we had Clark versus Reese, right?
You ain't gonna say no teams.
Nope. I'm just gonna ask y'all.
Teams?
No. Clark, the female version of a Steph Curry, gives people the business on the basketball court. When I say the business, I mean the business. She dropping 40 on you and laughing.
She really like that.
She talking stuff to you while she's shooting from the other side of the logo. Hit you with the can't see me. Well, Angela Reece was in her bag taking notes. Okay. I see you. And apparently their point guard was in her bag like, okay, you going to sag down off of people. We got you, right? If you talk stuff, you get stuff talked back to you.
Okay.
Right? Now, hold on. That's not why I'm coming at y'all. The question is, did the female game need this rivalry? All right. Now, listen. Listen, I'm going to tell you like this. The Lakers needed the Celtics. All right? Right? The Cowboys needed Indians. Okay? You feel me? Tiger needed Phil. Jason needed Freddie.
What?
Does the female game need Angel Reese and Clark to be at each other? I mean, both of them, they can't come out this year, so they'll be back again. And should LSU and Iowa be on their each other's schedule, neutral site, home and home? How do you guys see this thing? Did we need this?
And let me address the eligibility before you get to the comment.
Okay, go for it.
According to the NCAA, it requires players to be at least 22, female players to be at least 22, to have completed their college eligibility, to have graduated from a 4-year college, or to be 4 years removed from high school. Before they can go pro.
That's terrible.
So women's college basketball.
Yeah, that's terrible because now the men, they only got to be 19. They don't have to graduate. None of that.
And you're talking about Reese being a sophomore?
Junior. No, never mind.
Reese is a sophomore.
You got Caitlin.
So
Caitlin's a junior. Caitlin Clark is a junior. Yes. Ladies, what wants to tell me?
Why do they want these women to be so old coming out to play basketball?
Hey, it sounds to me like they.
Oh, wait,
I'm serious.
Wait, hold on. Is so old though. That's hilarious.
Yeah, you know, Ant's like
no,
30,
we're talking about though having a peak window of performance.
Correct.
And you got guys that are able to come out at 19 years old.
Hey,
to go to the next level. It's like now you want these women to be 22, 23 years old.
That was last week. That was last week, Ant, but we'll get back to that one. Do they need this rivalry? Because everybody knows who Caitlin Clark is now. Everybody knows that she dropped buckets. Everybody knows that Reese can go get it. And she yes, and she's from Baltimore. and she
used to play for Maryland.
Right, and yes, of course, she used to play for Maryland. LSU gave her a bag, and she said, "Got to go, Maryland."
Yep.
Right.
Indeed.
So yeah, my question is, did the female basketball need this rivalry to take it to the next level?
According to I'm gonna jump in and do it first. According to the ranking, according to the viewership, the answer is yes. Total audience is 103% jump over last year's ratings.
Yeah, 9.9 million viewers.
Yep.
They did better than the men.
Yes.
So to say this put eyes on female basketball, which in turns brings in sponsors. You know, it brings in money. Maybe not for every college, but once it translates to the WNBA, because more eyes are watching. Now, when them girls leave and go to whatever team drafts them, now you got more eyes watching. That may transfer from college over to the WNBA.
Yeah, because I don't
we
think
know those ladies play hard. They deserve every dollar they get.
Yep.
Viewership is what drives the money, and if we're not watching, they can't get those numbers that they want to see. So I'm gonna say yes.
Metaphors.
So I'm gonna let them get their politically correct stuff out the way. Go ahead.
Oh wait, what?
The politically
get y'all politically stuff correct stuff out the way first. Go ahead.
I don't think that this beef is going to end in college. I think this is going to carry on in the pros.
None of these type of beefs end in college. You have NBA players that had beefs. They had a beef in high school, and they continue to college. Then they continue to there. Some continue that if they're both in the WNBA at the same time, it's going to be a beef.
Well, Caitlin Clark will get there first.
I mean, yeah, she's older, but so with that said, I feel as though women in sports, that has been coming up over the years. We had 9.9 million viewers, right?
Yep.
That's live. That's not going back to watch. So what happened in the game, people were watching this live. You had to make the decision to watch it prior to it happening. So is it needed? Yes, but I don't think that the viewership, because when you turn it on, it counts. You know what I mean? It counts. So she walked that back, sheepdog, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah,
she walked that back.
She sure did.
But I feel as though women in sports, it's a slow increase as time goes on, you know.
Right.
You hear about these championship games and you hear about excitement. You hear about even the WNBA. You know, they had, when they first came out, it was like, people are watching, people are paying attention. Then it dropped significantly. As the years have gone on, slowly but surely they're going up. And I'm saying this because, I mean, I remember how many people were talking about the Mystics when they went. Not you putting me on the full screen.
Get your solo sequelae on.
Okay, but I mean, even with the Mystics,
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, we messed that up, and we gonna just keep going.
Sequela. I can't talk right now.
It's okay, it happens. But when the Mystics, you know, were in the championship, that was like something that was talked about. And you know, DC, we're gonna support a sport, but as time goes on, you see that it's going up, you know, especially when people weren't that excited about the men's tournament. You know, it was some upsets really early and people were like, all right, whatever. But it's going up. It's needed. Yes, because it's going to help that trend continue to go upward. You can take me off of the
Oh, you say put you back now?
Yeah, I'm off my soapbox.
Hey,
I have more to say, but we're not there yet. But go ahead.
You did a heck of a job. And get in there.
Question: how often will Caitlin be playing Angel throughout the regular season?
I guarantee you they're gonna have one game where they meet in the regular season, and then they'll have another game. Probably they'll set them up again. Probably for if it plays out the way it played out this year, it'll be 1-1 in the championship game unless somebody knocks off one of them. They'll be in different brackets so they can wind up in the championship game versus each other.
So I just gonna be real. I could care less. It's not that this whole thing has been grossly overdone. I just feel like at the end of the day, Caitlin is the best thing smoking. I'm sorry. Has nothing to do with the school she plays for, the color of her skin. She's just the best thing smoking on that court at any given time. The things that I watched her do in 2 games are worth watching her play every single game that she touches the floor. She's just that spectacular. She wasn't, I mean, if somebody's talking noise to me about a game or about me and I say, you're down by 15, shut up. That has everything to do with what's going on in that moment with that person. This has nothing to do with Angela Reece. The whole thing was kind of overdone. And I think that it's a failed attempt to try to bring some of the fire back to, or if it ever was, in women's basketball, college basketball. This is great. But they're going to need to duplicate these types of players. They're going to need to duplicate these types of players to make this worth our while. I'm not watching WNBA because of that. I'm sorry. It is no disrespect. I heard what Sid was saying about this whole concept of they're worth every penny, but nobody really watches it. So what is it really worth?
So I'm gonna tell you right now,
9.9 million people watch.
No, I'm talking about the next level.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm talking about the next level.
The next level.
A couple games.
This.
Okay, that's what's up. You might be a sports lover, but I'm saying by and large,
it's
nobody's
trending.
watching women's basketball.
Hold on. How many people watched Davidson play when Steph Curry was there?
Just the people that knew he was there?
Just the people that knew that he was there, and then you saw him in the tournament, and you was like, "Oh, this kid is special."
You only watched him in the tournament, by the way.
Right. He goes to Golden State. Nobody cared about Golden State before he went to Golden State. Now you see Golden State jerseys everywhere.
Yeah,
we're not doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
What?
Hold on. You would have to tell me a woman that had an impact like that. First of all, it still was the NCAA tournament. It still was going to get the most eyes possible.
This is what's going to happen.
Tournament is what allowed people to put eyes on him.
But this is what's going to happen. And you cannot argue with this. This young lady had 2 40-point games back to back, which then set up the NCAA championship versus Angela Reece, who had like 3 double-doubles. Right?
We're not going to make a big deal about double-doubles, but keep going.
Well, are you kidding?
Well,
listen, that's good. It's good.
It's
not dropping 40 points in the regional, the semifinals of the NCAA tournament. It's not the. We're not comparing that.
So you don't think that's going to translate?
By the way,
the thing is this:
that's more impressive than a double-double.
The double-doubles do make a difference, on what level it's going at, right? Because the fact is, for a long time you had people that's all they did was get double-doubles. Whether it was in steals and rebounds or rebounds and points, NBA wise. Mm-hmm. Now you're watching, even though it's college, do this at their level. On the heels of that game, Reese got a fat NIL deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh, can I please? Come
on, go with it, Aaron.
Oh, wait. So with that being said, that means with people that are watching, them getting that money at this point, is also this what I was saying. That type of stuff is going to drive over to the NBA, the WNBA, and put more.
You know the player now.
It's going to go to the WNBA.
Know the player.
I got to take my gum out for this. Okay,
go for it.
You're absolutely correct, Sheepdog. And I want to save this for a 5-minute slot on my podcast, but I'm gonna go. Listen, let me tell you something.
But that's why I didn't say it, because we weren't there yet.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, we not, but he about to go.
We're not there yet. But I want
let me just say this really quick, and I won't even go into this for a very long time. Black people need to stop it, okay? There's no preferential treatment. It's really not. You can't conjure up now. What we can say is we understand and know how to read the room when something is being said without it actually being said.
All right.
So,
hold on.
Because I'm about to say something.
It was preferential treatment.
I agree.
They put the same hand gesture. Wait. They put the same hand gesture that Clark did right next to Reese and played it. Same thing. One player's being called a thug.
I got.
And guess which one it is?
And classless.
Let's listen. Let's bring in our guest. Let's bring in Doc Walker right now. How you doing, Doc?
Hey, Doc.
I'm good. Lady A. What's happening?
Nothing much.
Poor baby. Surrounded by them goons. It's feels so bad for you.
Hey, Doc, you'll be surprised at what Lady A got going on.
Man.
No, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be.
Doc, let me catch you up to speed real fast. We're talking Angela Reece versus Caitlin Clark. Okay. Now, Doc, you went to UCLA, and the Bruins did it all. You're a Lakers fan. You and your son, y'all argue Boston Lakers right now. So my question was basically, Caitlin Clark and Angela Reece, does the women's side of basketball and the WNBA need this to boost their ratings.
Well, they have to wait a year because
A
these
couple.
two phenoms still got time to play before they're eligible. I think. Well, yeah, for Angel it'd be 2, and for Caitlin, who
It's
really
another.
got me involved. I really enjoyed it. I watched more of the women than I did the men because they were better games.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw Caitlin, I mean, pulling the Steph Curry when she's hitting from the logo, and I'm going, and I like the fact that she had a little bit of hot sauce in her grits. I mean, I like the fact she's not timid. I mean, she's tough, and she was talking trash.
Yep.
She was doing everything. I mean, it was nobody had to make up for her. She could defend herself. She just got on the short end of the stick. And Angel's rebounding, offensive rebounding. She's Dennis Rodman-esque. I mean, she's a monster.
Yep.
And so all the NIL stuff and all that, good for her. She reminded me of FloJo. And, wearing the one sleeve on the leg and all
Yep.
style. But she plays like Dennis Rodman. She ain't finesse. I mean, her rebounding blew me away. I just thought it was highly contested for a minute. And then what happened to the Gamecocks, and this is where Caitlin, to me, she stole the show because she knocked out an undefeated team.
Right.
And knocked them out, putting up back-to-back 40s. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, it shows you how good LSU really is. And LSU's bench, the most impressive thing to me was that when 2 of their bigs got in foul trouble, that's when the game got blown up. Them sisters came off the bench, firing, hitting threes, and defending. It was the NBA could take a script out of their page because you never had to beg them to play defense. They played basketball, and I really enjoyed it.
The Iowa team is so well coached. That's because Caitlin is clearly the most talented thing that they have. Everybody knows what their role is on that team. The one big man that they had, she never put the ball on the floor. She makes a move and she's going up. She knows what her talent is.
She got in foul trouble though, and when she got in foul,
right,
I thought it was really the worst officiated game. Unfortunately, if they had let the girls play, they'd have been all right. I mean, they didn't need to be treated as if they were like porcelain. They were going to break. I mean, them girls were physical, and they did not let them play. It was too many ticky-tacks. If they'd have let the game breathe, it might have been a little bit more competitive. I don't know if anybody was going to beat LSU. I mean, they just had too many factors. Their bench outshot everybody but Caitlin. Their bench was a beast. So it was a team effort, and I just love the swag, love the coach, being flamboyant. She's Liberace.
Yeah, she is.
Women, man, she's flossing. I enjoyed the whole thing. That's why 9 million, close to 10 million people got into it as well. Men's game couldn't keep up. First of all, 9:30 starts. Who y'all put? I mean, come on. 9:30 starts. Give San Diego State a lot of credit. But you don't hit shots, you don't win. They had open looks. They didn't hit them. They didn't knock them down. And UConn was not contested the entire tournament.
Double-digit wins.
Knocking everybody out in double digits. You dropped the mic. The Huskies dropped the mic on everybody. It's over. No matter who would have got in there, it didn't matter. I don't think there was anybody. They were unselfish. They're long. They hit shots. They defend. Hurley did a great job. And UConn, that was good. That was good. Everything was good. I like all the newbies. NIL is showing up. Transfer portal. You can go out there. So we at the yard playing on the blacktop. You pick a team and go. And that's what most of these teams did. 8, 9, 10 new players. They started gelling. They were unselfish. And a lot of them win. So it was, quote, blue bloods. It's the best thing that's happened to college basketball in years. And it's got a little of the Bird, Larry, and Magic.
And Magic, yeah.
Only because the rivals can never be contested because of one thing you cannot discount on. And that is when you keep a generation of kids away from a sport. African Americans were denied access. Not because they couldn't play, simply because of how they look.
Yep.
And that's a travesty. And to make up that kind of distance and room, going all the way back to the day when Kentucky lost. That's the genesis, of this. You give everybody an equal right, and it'll play itself out on the floor. And that's the way it went. And I can't wait for next year just to see their matchup. I hope they put it in prime time, and see those teams go after it. And that's without South Carolina. That's without Tennessee. That's without UConn. That's without, quote, the perennial Stanford. All those people that won before couldn't touch this.
Yes. I definitely think because of the way the women's basketball game is played, that they are definitely going to have LSU and Iowa somewhere in prime time when both of them are at their peaks and ready to go. And then I also see them too, if things work out as number ones on opposite side of the bracket so they can match up again. And we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
All right.
Last thing I was going to say, there was a crazy stat that UConn was undefeated against non-Big East teams this year. Didn't lose a game. So I'm like, crazy indicator. And all those wins were also by double digits. So
by double digits.
Yeah. So you look at it, it was like the winner was always standing right in front of our face. And the most dominant teams throughout history followed that same path. So
and Doc hit on it as well. NIL or the transfer portal has evened out the playing field all the way around when it comes to the NCAA. Doc, I just got a question for you, Doc. The Masters starts on Thursday. The Par 3 contest starts tomorrow. Are you excited about the Masters, and who are you looking forward to see play?
Well, I wait every year. This is so special. Having been there once and worked the Masters once in the 90s, it's everything you think it is if you haven't been there. And the field now is so wide open because there's so many guys banging it. They're knocking, 330, 350. They're so long off the tee. And it's good because the group now is adjusted. Before, when it was just Tiger, they changed the course. Every great athlete that has impacted the game, the African-American athletes that have done it, they've changed the rules. Every single time something gets, whether it's Bob Gibson on the mound, and Bob was throwing filth, change the rules, and lower the mound. Whether it's Kareem, not Kareem, but before that, Wilt, the Big Dipper. They took the dunk out. No problem. Everybody will adjust to it. I'm glad that we'll get to see that. Baseball getting bigger bags. They took the shift away. I hated the shift. Now you got baseball, back. A lot of rule modifications that have happened. Sometimes it hurts the game. It has forced the NFL into what DBs are just hung out to dry. These are the greatest athletes on earth playing corners now because they got to go against the rules. You can't touch anybody. The quarterbacks are now being allowed not to be maimed in the pocket. So we're going to have a faster game. You can't score points. You're just not going to win. And that's why, in Washington's standpoint, you got to fix the offense. If you can't put up 26, 27, 28 points a game, you got no shot.
Well, hey, you went right into my next question. Since we're gonna go there now, it seems as if the Harris Rail Magic Group has the lead on this situation, and I just want you to say, or how do you see this Harris Rail Group working? Josh Harris is a partial owner of the Steelers. Rails is from the area, so is Josh Harris. And then Magic has some skin in the game with his businesses being in the DMV. Do you think that they will take hold of us as fans and embrace us and treat us the way that Dan didn't?
I've given it no thought because I don't believe anything that you're told. This is a negotiation.
Exactly.
You'll be the last to learn to know it. I'm riding Bezos. I don't know why the man who don't have to borrow a dime is not the leading candidate. Plus all I care about ownership is about getting a new stadium. The ownership group's not going to have any bearing on the football operation for next year. Football operation is on its own. This is futuristic. So, they can do whatever they want to do. I don't trust anything they say, anything in the process. until the National Football League has a primary owner that is African American, and they break this closed circle that they have, then they don't have my respect.
Right.
You can't run a business this way when over 68% of your talent is of one African American descent. You have no owner, not one. No, so they can bring magic or that does nothing to me, unless you're the primary, and you're not going to have nothing to do with football operations. So what you're going to do is build a stadium. So that's why I want the richest guy. Why do I want a group of 20 people got to come together to make the pot? I mean, I got one guy, he come and do it all. So I'm pulling for base. Love if Magic, if it happens, that's great. Irvin's a great guy, I like him a lot. But Irvin's got his hand in 10 pots. So Irvin, and he left as the Lakers coach. And he said, I want to be Magic. It's going to be Magic. So he's doing his thing. That's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in Bieniemy, and I'm interested in what goes on with special teams and defense. And unless one of these owners is going to have a part in the football, which they're not going to do the operation, I'll catch that on the back end.
I got you. All right, Lady A.
Honestly, I've been saying what Doc is saying for a little while. I'm like, okay, Bezos is quiet. He just may swoop in and take the team. I completely agree with you there, Doc. So I do want to say that before I go forward. As far as Bieniemy, I'm glad you mentioned him. I'm excited that he's there. He's a guy that knows how to win. What type of changes do you expect to see for offense this upcoming season due to Bieniemy coming in?
Well, all I can say until I know who his roster is,
right,
is that his intensity hopefully takes over the whole unit. He's demanding. They need demanding. They scored 15 points a game. It has been piecemeal. He's a driving force. They needed a driving force. Based on now, as he gets his collection of players, I'd lean a little bit more to knowing how he's going to do it. But how do you know? He's got to get the quarterback situation down. I need 3 guys in that building that can all play. And I need competition, but I need 3. I need to get a talent. And hopefully they'll get one in this draft. You're hearing a lot about the kid from Tennessee. That's the kid I like because he might be within your realm because he ain't going to go high. As he should have. Had he stayed healthy, he's a bad man. I love it.
You know what? We had this conversation about 2 weeks ago, Doc. And that was a name I wrote. I say nobody's even talking about Hendon Hooker. I said exactly
what on him. I saw him at Virginia Tech, but what I saw him about in the big bad SEC going against Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, Mississippi. He didn't do with all of them. The only way they could beat him is to hurt him.
Yeah.
Because if he's healthy, he was tearing their behinds up. So he's mobile. I like him. Now, he may fall. The question is, if you could fall back, or 16, I need somebody big and ugly. But after that, the second pick, if he's around, it'll be interesting what Bieniemy decides to do. I would love to get a guy you wouldn't have ordinarily had a shot at. If he's healthy, to me, he's gone in the first 5-6 picks.
Yeah.
But because of what happened, I'm a Bobby Beathard disciple. You don't penalize a guy for being hurt. You look at that as an opportunity that you would have never had. And if you get him, and I like the 2 kids we have right now, but if we get 3 and I don't have to rush him, I think he'll be healthy. He'll be really healthy by September. But I need a guy with a gun. I don't need any quarterback that doesn't have arm talent. The game is too fast now. You can't have a guy throwing floaters, change-ups. I need a guy spitting fire and also be mobile enough to get me a first down. And that's where all 3 guys, whomever they get, I think would be in that position.
Now, I mean, he definitely could throw the ball around the yard for sure.
Yeah.
But what about the situations in which, and I know it's college, but it don't get no easier going to the next level. Like one of my biggest knocks about Dak is the way he lost in college don't look no different than how he lost in the pros. Do you see a situation where maybe the coaching, the enemy plays a big part in kind of how he processes the game, possibly, or something like that?
Yeah, well, this kid prior to the injury, how many games you lose?
Oh,
say it again, Doc.
I said how many games
Prior
he lose. I can tell you what. I know he threw under single-digit interceptions the last 2 years.
Yes,
I think he threw like.
And I'm not
3.
questioning his arm. He's an arm talent,
Right.
and he's now 5'11". I mean, he got everything. He just got hurt, which is to your advantage should he become available.
Right.
You might get him in a second. He may drop wherever. Howell dropped. Guys drop. Guys go after different things. Some teams maybe can't wait on him. Washington, if they don't get him, they'll still be fine. But if they get him, it just makes the room a lot more potential in the room should you get injury. I need 3 active quarterbacks next year. Hopefully the league will get their head out of the rear end. You should have 3 guys every game, every team. Can't afford to have what happened with San Francisco with Purdy in a championship game, and you got a running back playing quarterback. This league is greedy. The hell, expand the roster and add another quarterback.
Yeah, Doc, 2019, he had 2 picks. 2020, he had 5. 2021, he had 3. 2022, he only had 2. So picks is not his thing. Completions is his thing.
In the SEC. In the SEC.
Right.
Okay. And they didn't have the best team. That's what I like about him. Only film I want to see about him is against Georgia and Alabama. That's the closest look you're going to get to the NFL. Okay? That's it. Everybody else is a reach. The Liberty, all that. How'd that work out with the kid in Tennessee?
Didn't work out. Didn't work out.
Ain't gonna work out.
Didn't work
Can't
out.
go out and play in a rec league and then run around, like the guy. And then the guy down in Florida, he couldn't hit a blind side of a barn. He run around talking about he running up. Man, I don't need Jim Brown at quarterback. I need a quarterback. There's only one Cam Newton. Okay?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna see nobody. I ain't see nobody like that. He may be the closest to it, but if my memory's still intact, didn't Cam win the Heisman?
He did.
Mm-hmm.
But
Cam didn't develop. Cam didn't have no excuses. This dude throwing the ball over people's heads, around people. He's inaccurate. Got a gun. The kid so there's some guys with guns. Man, don't consider yourself Cam Newton unless you do Cam-like things on the biggest stage. Cam did it in the SEC. Okay, in the biggest stage.
Go ahead, Ant. Get in there.
I got a couple questions to kind of go back on how you started with some of the things. Some of the things I've heard them talk about is how there's some type of issue or rift between Dan and Bezos. Is that do you foresee that being something that?
Let me stop you right there. Mm-hmm. You remember Dan's borrowing money from the league?
Right.
Have you ever seen a man broke on Billionaire Broke? Okay.
Yeah.
He borrowed money from the league to bail him out. Of course he may have a problem with a billionaire. That's all envy, man. That's a rich guy thing. But in rich people talk, he ain't rich.
Right.
So how the hell is he being investigated, billionaire broke, and he gonna tell you who he ain't gonna sell to? Are y'all serious?
That part.
Yeah. No, that's good. No, that's good stuff though.
that part.
Because I'm thinking that I'm like, listen, what are we talking about here? If push come to shove, the league can come and say you ain't got no choice.
Right.
No choice. Off of it.
If they wanted to, they're not gonna do it because they don't want their dirt revealed.
Right.
They can just vote him out. Okay, they don't want to do that because they dirty too. So they want to keep it at a minimum. They want to keep that dust at a settle.
So does Bezos,
why would you listen to a man that has to borrow money to reach his goals?
Does Bezos have to submit his offer to Dan, or does he just submit his offer to the league?
That I don't know. Like I said, y'all follow this. I don't follow it.
That's fact.
Because all they're doing is throwing out stuff to get you to chase that ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If it was Jerry, different deal. He don't need nobody. I mean, there's certain billionaires that are billionaires.
Yeah, that ain't
he ain't got to borrow a dime. Okay. You already showing you a broke billionaire, and now you talking trash, and then people knocking on your door trying to lock you up or whatever. Come on, man. That's all lip service. I don't buy none of that.
He need a billionaire EBT card. Y'all good.
Yes, exactly.
Y'all right.
He's ghetto rich. That's what I said. He's a ghetto billionaire. He's cool, still a billionaire.
Sheepdog. That's right.
Don't be talking about him, like he's clipping coupons. No, man. He's billionaire broke.
When they look around the room, they say, "You the brokest one in here."
You the brokest one in there.
That's
we need to loan you money to buy your partners out. Okay? You talking trash. Come on, man. No, that's all lip service. That's why he done sold everything. That's why he's in another country. I mean, this is fait complete. This is just a matter of whatever the process they're doing behind the scenes, doing billionaire kind of things.
Go ahead, Ant.
One more question. So this is going back to Eric. So I told them once I seen the post press conference and I saw all the players there that were they had a different look in their eyes. I mean, I was surprised to see so many players show up. I understand what it's like to have a brilliant mind in the room, but can you even kind of speak to it being beyond that, having that championship pedigree on top of that what does that do for these guys that you could tell they believe last year, but sometimes your own coach was even getting in the way? How does that kind of galvanize that room or prepare them for the next level of success that they've never seen to this point?
Well, it was smart enough. If you're in town, why wouldn't you be there? I mean, if you're smart, you want him to see you, and you want to see him. That would show me they're intelligent. How many coaches we've had? We had 9 of these damn things, and every one of them has had players there. He ain't the first guy to have everybody who's come in. Joe Gibbs came back. It was like the Messiah had returned. Everybody was there. When my boy from Denver came in, everybody's there they were there for Gruden. They were there for every one of them because they smart. You want to see the guy on his first day. They were there for Rivera. There's always going to be smart players in town are going to be there because they know this guy's special and he's hungry. He ain't fat ratting it. He's trying to get to his goals, and that is to win a championship without Andy and to get what he ultimately wants, and that is to be a head coach.
Right.
You made reference to earlier in the year, though, when they brought up Eric, and I mean, of course, he's here now, but it was kind of like, well, we don't really know the setup here of who's doing what. Has that kind of been clarified by Andy's statements on giving him credit on making certain adjustments in the second half? Is the load he carried, is it a little more verified? You know what I'm saying? Or even if you're in the room, you add value, if you were a part of that team.
The equipment man. I take the equipment man just for him being around it. If you watch greatness work and you see how greatness practices, how greatness studies, Andy Reid's a genius. This man not only played for him, he's worked for him. That's the way it goes. The other 2 Caucasian brothers who were there got jobs. They didn't call a play. They both got jobs, and they both got fired. All right? Belichick's guys have called play. They all go and they all get fired. It don't matter what you're doing. It's about what Eric's going to do now.
Yeah.
Now, this is Eric's showcase to figure out what he can do. Who knows? There's no guarantee about nothing.
Right.
But I'll take those chances over him, over a guy who had never done it, who had never won anything. I got Eric Bieniemy. I don't care if he was a receiver coach. Could have been a towel boy. I don't care. I need somebody who understands how champions operate.
Yeah.
We don't have that. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
You can't have somebody talking a bunch of stuff about I'm going to change the climate, or I'm going to look, what's your record? Only thing changes the outcome is your record.
Indeed.
You can't be philosophical at 500. I don't buy that.
Right. Doc, Ezekiel Elliott was pretty special when he came out. Right. Now, I know you liked him when he first came out.
I love Zeke.
He ate his way.
I love the old Zeke.
Skinny Zeke.
Yeah, skinny Zeke.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this dude now, he gonna lose that belly, and he'd probably be back in Dallas. They just couldn't pay him what they were paying him.
Yeah.
Please don't say that, Doc.
If I'm Zeke,
please don't
I ain't
say
going
that.
nowhere.
Bijan Robinson is my question, though. Bijan
Robinson is, in my opinion, he's the best talent in the draft.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson is the best thing I've seen ready-made. This boy is an animal. So I love him. I don't care what they say about backs. He's different.
Yeah.
He's just like the kid in New York, but maybe better.
Yeah.
He can catch it. He blocks. See, backs, not all backs block. Not all backs are good receivers.
Yeah.
And not all backs make people miss. They come in different form. He does it all. Whoever gets him is going to have a freak of the week. This dude is frightening. If we don't get him, I hope he's not in the division.
That's what I was going to say. Is Philly sitting at 10, Doc? Philly sitting at 10.
I think Philly going to take a lineman. I really do.
Well, they may have to. All I'm telling you is that Bijan, I don't get him in the AFC. If we don't get him in the AFC, I do not want to see that freak twice a year.
Right.
No.
I hear that.
No.
Well, Ant in our little mock draft that we're doing on Thursdays, Ant was picking 10th, and you should have saw the torment on his face. Bijan sitting there at 10.
You don't want to see that kid. I'm serious. You don't want to put him on. That's like you put him on you put money with Scrooge McDuck. I mean, they just get richer. It's not.
Ant did. Ant Mo had the 10th.
Oh, and he's talking in our mock draft. I had the Eagles, and I gave them Bijan. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think they'll do it. But I'm like, why wouldn't you?
If they get him with their quarterback, it's going to be a long year.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long year because they're already loaded. I need him in the AFC. I need him in Jacksonville. Exactly. I need him somewhere you don't see him a lot. The question is if he's there at 16. That would be interesting. It's not about who you need. See, I'm a best player on the board guy. I don't draft positionally.
Oh, we had that discussion.
What you said, Doc?
We had that
best guy on the board. I take the best guy and get my hands on the board because I can coach up. I can Band-Aid. We've been Band-Aiding well. I don't think our sacks, I thought our sacks were equal lack of scheme as much of him blocking one-on-one. There's certain guys you can't block one-on-one. Dallas has one. They got two. We put a tight end on Thibodeau.
Who's the second?
And I'm
that
going,
was a fireable offense. That was a fireable offense.
Thibodeau had 4 or 5 sacks until us. You know, you see what the Eagles did when the first time they played that freak wearing 11? They optioned him. They game planned him out so they could win. That's what a staff is supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
We got out coached in that deal. I like our line. I like our guy. We need to get a couple new people, but I'm not blaming. Everybody gets beat, but that was a lack of scheme. That ain't happening with Bieniemy. I guarantee it. That ain't happening. You can deal with a speed rusher. You know, you can screen this side. There's things you can do. You got to game plan that guy. We played against LT. I mean, he didn't win every one of them. We split them, but you knew this dude was a mess. He coming. You got to figure out ways to try to keep him off balance, chip him, double him, run away from him. You got to do all kinds of things. We ran out there in some vanilla crap and turned him into a hero. That ain't happening this year.
That's not happening this year. Lady A.
So we're talking about the draft. We're sitting at 16. You've told us who you want.
Yeah.
Realistically, who do you think we're going to get at 16?
I have no idea because I don't do the draft game.
Okay.
I ain't got time for that. I am just saying that I don't know how they think. I don't think like they think. Last year, when we asked me the same thing on this show, I'm taking Godzilla.
Okay.
Didn't I say that?
Yeah,
they said, who you taking? Davis. They ain't the only guy on the draft I want.
Oh.
I'm drafting the biggest, nastiest creature I can get my hands on. Because that's why I'm drafting in the first round.
Right.
Because I got holes.
Right.
And I'm getting somebody that takes 2 people to block. I can already level the playing field. If I get a guy, you got 2 guys to block it, I now control the balance of a game. Anybody can get a guy that I can get blocked one-on-one. No. I'm looking for a guy that requires 2 human beings to block him. Now I got some advantages. And so I told you Godzilla would be my guy. He went to Philly.
Teddy E,
And had I known more, see, I slept on 11 because I remembered he came out, he missed a year with COVID. I forgot how bad a boy he was. No way in the hell I would have let that, because he's generational. It takes 2 people to block him. Not a lot of people can do that. The kid out of Georgia went first. It don't take 2 people to block him. It may eventually grow to that, but he's developing. They reached. I never reach it 1. Never, ever, ever. If I draft you 1, you have to require 2 people to cover you at wide receiver. You're a shutdown corner. You're a quarterback, or you're a guy that takes 2 people to block. Or you're an offensive lineman that can block the best in the league. It's that simple. 5 categories. If you don't meet that, next.
Doc, how's Renninger going?
We're working on Renninger, man. We got to change some things. We really are. I got a new marketing campaign coming out for Renninger, and I may have to take it to schools and the adult thing. I may have to go with the kids and help the parents out with that. Yeah.
Hey,
I still believe it's a hit.
I think you got something there. And the reason I'm asking about Renninger is because maybe the Nats needed a little bit. The Caps, we're going to give them a pass. And definitely the Wizards need it. It's like a serious down year right now. So we might need to get Renninger rolling around to some of our pro teams.
Yeah, Renninger, with the Wizards, and we talked about this today with Jack, you are what your core philosophy is. Any basketball team that doesn't put defense first, I'm done. I'll come back when you decide to approach the game the right way. We get a lot of lip service about defense. The teams that we just saw in the tournament, San Diego State, what they everybody who's trying to become really good, you got to get stops. So I need a defensive approach that everybody buys into. And, we rebound like our life depends on it. There's so many extra possessions a non-rebounding team and a team that doesn't believe in defense gives away. I don't have no max players on mediocre teams. To me, that's bad management.
Right.
All our, quote, I was talking today about the Wizards, and we were talking about the big 3. First of all,
that's not
the original big 3 was in playoffs. Okay. Don't call you ain't no big 3. You 3 guys getting paid. All right. I would never have an asset that I could not win a championship with. So my number 1 asset has got to be able to stop your number 1 guy. That's why Jalen, my boy up in with the Celtics, not only can he give me 30, he can take your number 1 guy and reduce him by 15 points. His air averages.
Yeah.
That's what a max player looks like.
Yep.
Max player is not a one-way player to me. It's not just a scorer, because that don't mean I'm going to win. That's why Mike is the GOAT. Why Kobe's the baby GOAT. Because they were all first-team what?
Defense.
All defensive teams.
All first-team defense.
All first-team defense.
True.
So if you ain't that guy, you ain't no one to me. You ain't no max player. Max players there's no excuses for them. Akintatupo, that's a max player. D up, bring the ball, do everything. What am I got a max player with a hole in his game? Oh, well, he don't defend. Oh, well, he doesn't do that. Well, he's your man. Wouldn't be my max player. He'd be with the Lakers, whoever wants to have unlimited budget, you pay him. So you give me some grinders. The one thing you learn if you watch the Lakers, when Braun was out and they started making moves, bringing in cats that was hungry, all of a sudden, floor opened up. They rebound. They got some dogs. And then when he come back, they lose to the Bulls because everything changed. They were developing chemistry. They were hitting shots. They got shooters now. The game is about spacing and about guys that are going to do the dirty work.
Right.
So if you ain't a screen and roll team or what, that's why Philly is right on the door, but they can't kind of get in. They got a beast. I love
down
Big
the middle.
Boy.
Yeah.
I think he's MVP. Well, he's only that because Giannis missed games. Giannis Akintatupo, he's the MVP. He may not get the award because he missed those games. But then I'm looking at, I like Joker. I like all of it. Don't win enough. How you the MVP of the league and we don't bust a grape in the playoffs?
Yep.
That ain't no MVP. My MVPs, Magic, Bird, all of them, they all in the finals. How you going to have an MVP not in the finals? I don't buy that.
Right. Doc, your guy Anthony Davis is playing much better. Braun went out and Anthony Davis stepped up. Showed some guts, twisted an ankle, and came back and finished the game.
40.
Right.
40.
And LeBron is actually taking a step back. He's barely getting in the 20s now. How do you feel about your Lakers in the playoffs and their playoff push here?
Well, I expect it to happen if they go out and get it done. I mean, they gelling as a team. In order to beat a really good team like Phoenix or Denver, they have coordination. And they got the baddest man in the game, the Slim Reaper. The problem is, see, that's an MVP. Durant is an MVP. You can't stop him. He can guard you. He can be a rim protector if he decides to do it. And he can bring the ball. He's like a Kentatupo. They're just incredible what he can do. And they got a Deuce. His Robin is a bad boy.
Yeah.
The Suns, they got a championship look. But he ain't played enough. The question is you got to have chemistry. Can't do it in 2 weeks. Same thing will happen in Golden State when they get their freak back. He ain't practiced with the team. And so if he's there, he can't be in game shape. He can't be in that kind of shape. But they want it with him. This thing is still wide open. It depends on who's healthy. Just like Dallas is a perfect example. You can have the best two offensive players in the world on your team, as they do. Dallas, two of the best. Can't win a game because they're not committed to defense. They're one-way players. Well, they're the best at what they're doing, but that ain't my style of ball. I don't want them. Well, and I love watching them play now. I love watching them play. They're just entertainers to me. It's like going to a comedy show. I'll go and get a good laugh, be entertained, but they don't win. They can't win. When your best player don't play defense, and he's that athletic, and he can score, he can bend his body like a pretzel, he can do everything, but he can't defend. No, he don't want to defend, and they don't make him defend, and they'll never win with it. Sleeping Dog talking about Durant is, yeah, you're right. Durant having some injury issues, but if he's healthy, dog, I'll take him on any team I got.
I like the three of Durant. What's their big man, DeAndre Ayton?
Yeah,
and then their baby assassin as well.
He's a murderer.
Yeah, I like those three.
He should be handcuffed in public. That boy is a beast. I love him. No, I like them, and it'd be good for them. I mean, look, it may roll out, and let's not sleep on Sacramento King. Sacramento's where I wish the Wizards were. They've been dog meat forever, and then they figured it out. They got chemistry, and they are ferocious. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what, don't sleep on them. The Kings, it's that new winning. It's like in Memphis. You got a new winning attitude. You got people now that believe. And I'm telling you what, don't sleep on the Grizz and the Kings. Or somebody to keep your eye on. It should be a whole bunch of fun.
I actually like the Kings and the Grizzlies if your guy gets his head right, and it seems like the rest of the team they're going to force him to get his head right. I really think they can make some noise in the playoffs, so we're going to look at that a little bit later. And you had a question about Dallas for Doc, right?
I had no question. I want to say, although I don't agree with that premise, I think what this also does is expose how bad that bench is. And when you got guys that are 3-and-D guys, but they're bottom tier 3-and-D guys, if they can't make that three, they can't create offense. The little bit of defense that you're going to bring ain't finna help nothing out. When those guys are penetrating and dishing and you can't knock down threes consistently, is going to create a problem when you get against guys that have far greater talent than you. So those two guys can do all the globetrotter they want. Even if you got other guys that play a little bit of defense and they can knock down shots, it's going to make your team that much better. They just don't have that right now. And
they're not going to get it. When you give up Brunson, this is when I knew they didn't understand how to win.
Yep.
Brunson is a dog.
Yes.
I mean, this boy, he gets you 30. He just like Marcus Smart. I don't leave home without Marcus Smart and Brunson. There's certain guys I need. They may not be the leading scorer. They may not, but I'm going to tell you what, you don't win without them. Because they got something about them that just – Dennis Rodman he just committed himself to one side of the floor, defensive and rebound, and he was the best at it. Brunson has the knickerbockers relevant. Now, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And if the Wizards ever do win, that's what we're going to be saying about them.
Right.
They got to take a page out of Sacramento. They got to look at the knickerbockers. You got to look at what it takes. It ain't always the leading scorer. But you got to have somebody in there that has a refuse to lose attitude. Not somebody in there trying to dress up, show up in some goddamn, some costume. I ain't gonna do that, see. We got people showing up like they models in France, and they get away with it because nobody over there, the coach won't tell them, hey, man, that's not allowable here. We don't do that. We're not a burlesque show.
Ooh.
I just think that's a lack of control, and it makes the head coach look like garbage.
Yeah.
Well, we got one more football question for you, Doc, and then we're gonna say thank you for coming. I appreciate you giving us some time today. So it says, speaking of dogs, is Sam Howell one?
I believe so. I believe he's a puppy that's about to be let out the cage. See, I saw him as a freshman. I judge a lot of collegiate guys by their freshman season. Most guys can't play as a freshman at big time, at good programs. So when you come in from high school, he lit it up. He lit up Tar Heel Nation as a freshman. I went up to see him against Virginia Tech, and they was dogs then. Put him to sleep. When he had weapons, he was a beast. But even more so, without the weapons, what did he do? He put his legs to work. So he's showing me he's dual threat.
Right.
See, if Heineke had a run, he might still be here. Somebody convinced him that he was Joe Namath, and he believed him. And they lied to him.
They lied.
You got to do with your body. God gave you gifts. Use them.
Right.
Sam Howell's a dog. He just needs opportunity. And if he steps up and gets it, he'll do it. If you don't, then the next guy will. But no, I like Sam.
All right, Doc.
Unfortunately, they didn't like him enough to play him.
That's poor coaching.
I hate that that's the question. That's the last question.
That's not actually the last question. The last thing is this. Actually, that came from our audience there. Last question is this, Doc. It came from the chat. Yeah. Last question actually is this. Opening day was last week. I know you love baseball. That's your first love. I thought it was real special that MLB had everybody playing on opening day. Did it really take you back to your childhood?
Well, Little League, opening day is a very special day. And a lot of my generation that all played baseball, it was so special. Seeing the Clydesdales, the Nationals did a phenomenal job. Atmosphere was brisk. It brought back a lot of memories. Unfortunately, they were playing Atlanta Braves. And so you're going to get your head knocked off if you come in there short. But you got to measure yourself. Getting one win out of that was the best for me. Because had they been swept, you just demoralizing. Now the Braves, they're the closest thing to the Dodgers you can get. And so I have mad respect for them. But to get that win and get a win. But, the lineup right now, I can't recite all 9 guys. That's how new it is. I know one guy coming back. But it's about defense. I think we got a big-time third baseman. I'm looking right now to see who's going to stick and stay. It's all about defense. Made a couple errors. You can't be them and make errors.
Right.
Maybe they're not the best hitting team. Maybe they're not the best pitching team. But dagnabbit, you got to be able to catch the damn ball on the ground and make the basic plays. If you do that, you might have a chance to get over that 60, 65 win threshold. I wanted to be competitive. I was driving home today. Hell, before I get in my car, before I got to the bridge, they down 3-0.
Well, they're up 6-4 right now.
Well, see, that's showing me something.
They up 6-4.
Because when I cut them off, so they're showing me now these young dudes, they selected well. They do know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
And that's a competent. They're competent. They're being strung by the Masson deal. It's a rotten deal. And Major League Baseball is gutless. So they're letting Baltimore hijack the Nationals.
Yep.
So we've lost all our stars, but look what they're growing now. And if they win tonight, if they can just split, if they can just be competitive and start growing some of their own stars and own personality, you know it's out. I like this team. I was seeing people mobbing into the place. I just hope the attendance. I hope we understand that we got to help teams grow.
Right.
You don't do it on their own, and if you do it, you'll get a reward.
Hey, he said, "Dog, baseball defense, basketball defense, football defense." There's a common theme here.
Yep.
Defense travels.
Defense. Yeah, you can't. I mean, you got to stop. Look, man, my homie, you got the boy in Buffalo, the boy in Cincinnati, the boy in Kansas City, the boy out in L.A. Am I missing somebody? Yes, 4 freaks.
Jaguars.
And the Jaguar, 5. They got 5 freaks in the AFC. The good news is that they'll butcher each other up. But if you ever think you're going to beat one of them, how you going to beat one of them? The guy who wins that goes through the gauntlet. How you going to beat him?
Right.
You have got to be able to defend. So you got to defend and run the ball, choke the clock down. You got to play small ball until you get a freak of your own. There's ways to do it, but we got to do it the old-fashioned way. We got to ground and pound, and we got to hope that them 4 horsemen we got up front on that D-line, they got to bring it. I don't need no Instagram videos. I don't need none of that crap. I need them on game day to get me 5, 6, 7 sacks a game.
I'm with it.
Because that fearsome force and them freaks up front, I'll say let's unleash them and let's get after people. So, if we get them people on secondary signed, I love the roster right now. I think it's got a chance to do some great things if we'll humble ourselves, stop promoting, shut the F up, and just grind.
Thank you
very much. Get in the weight
much.
room, get in the film room. I don't need to hear nothing from you. Go to work. And this group right here may surprise you.
Say it. I've been holding the Bulldog back for quite a while here, Doc.
No, it's okay. It's being at the top sometimes, you have to go last. And no problem with that.
Stop it.
No, he's a champion.
I believe, just like you believe, you gotta put a big ugly on that line to protect that quarterback. There's 4 that they keep talking about, and they should one of the 4 should be there. Just like you hear them telling me after the same thing, Atlanta needs to take one as well. If they do not take one, they're setting themselves back.
Well, Atlanta's like their philosophy is a lot like ours. See, they believe they're gonna run the ball on you. They ain't hiding nothing. Yep. Their deal. When I hear Jackson, whose name is thrown around, and that's just all propaganda, I hope they don't get him.
Man,
I'm gonna tell you something. If Atlanta had Jackson, it could be a wrap. Because it lies into their philosophy. They ain't trying to trick nobody. Their offensive line is ferocious. They're building what Tennessee started, they're trying to finish it. And like Tennessee, the only void is the quarterback. It's that quarterback. Because when you're going to be run-centric, you have got to threaten them safeties with a guy they know can throw it, or they'll just stack the box on you. Nobody's going to respect you. But if they get a flamethrower or a guy that scares the hell out of you like Jackson does, it could be very interesting. Atlanta, I like the way they approach football. I love the way they go after it that way because they simplify it. I'm not into 35 different formations and all. You got to stop people and pound them and knock the crap out of them enough till they get tired of you. And that's what Atlanta's. I got my mind on Atlanta because Atlanta, their approach is right. I like the approach.
Yes, sir.
Hey Doc, make sure you check out this end of the broadcast. You know, as you go, you might see something a little different. You know, that you may not have seen. But we appreciate you always being available for us, Doc.
Hey man, y'all family, man. It's we did 4 to 7, got 4 to 7 all this week, so it worked out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you. Give Scott my best. Tell Linnell to work on his basketball game, and Eminem is
Linnell need to
always
work
bringing
on
the hits.
losing his stomach.
Yeah, you
We
do.
need to work on cardiovascular. He claimed today
Cardiovascular.
I'm at the gym. I'm getting some ball in. I said you need to be on a treadmill, not a basketball court. But we'll see. I love it, man. He's a great talent.
Tell him if he's
He'll
on
be
the
good.
court. If he's on the court, he need to be doing suicides. That's it.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
Not
but
shoot.
He gonna
Hey,
be okay.
tell him
Yeah,
watch
right,
Coach
right.
Carter. He owe us
Yeah.
575 up downs.
Yeah, you ain't lying. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah. All right,
Oh,
man. Y'all
my
be good. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Doc. We
y'all.
appreciate you,
Yeah,
man.
thanks a lot.
Thank
Good
you,
deal.
Doc.
All right, Bulldog. Lady A, I'm gonna try to do something, babe. I gotta help you out. You
Thank
should
you.
not have to be surrounded by them
Thank
goons
you.
with no
Thank
help, no
you.
question there. All right, baby. Y'all be good.
All right,
All right.
thanks, Doc. Thanks.
Thanks.
If
That
only Doc
was-
knew she the real goon.
Oh,
He's worth one. He
I'm
just
not a
don't know it.
goon.
Hey.
Oh, please, will you stop it with
Hey.
the
I'm not a goon.
Oh, girl, bye.
I'm the angel.
Hey.
Girl, bye.
What'd she
I'm
say?
the angel.
Who's the angel?
Me. I'm the angel.
Oh, say it. You know
Man,
what?
I'm tired of doing fist bumps. You keep moving me.
There you go. Go ahead. Give it to him,
No,
man.
too late.
Oh, I'm done. I'm finished.
There you go. Yes.
That's not fist bumping about me being a
Hey.
goon. I'm not a goon.
You're the
Mhm.
bully of the podcast.
Every
I'm-
HR woman, every HR person is the real.
I'm
bully.
stern.
Excuse me?
No. That's what they call it now.
I'm stern. I'm straightforward and I'm stern.
Listen, the metaphor said Lady A is more of a thug than Reese.
Reese is not a thug. Thank you very much.
No, he said you're the thug.
But I'm not a thug either. But Reese is definitely not a thug.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask your kids about this one.
I'm telling you.
See that? Did you see that? Did you see that said? Did she get quiet? She
The
was
last
like,
thing I wanted to do, I wanted to ask him about
She's from Baltimore.
who was his favorite tight end out of the class. That's
oh,
one thing I didn't get to
yeah.
ask.
my bad.
He
My
ain't,
bad.
he ain't in the league yet, player.
Who was that?
No, I said out of this class.
Oh, I didn't play.
This coming class. Yeah.
Davis.
Yeah.
Hey,
Agent Zero.
say it. What do we have to cover?
Yeah, you know my adrenaline's still pumping.
Uh-oh.
I ain't
Oh,
looking
my
at none of that. I already told you what's going on.
Yeah,
So
my bad.
adrenaline still
So-
All
pumping.
right.
I have something.
Yes, ma'am.
So we touched on it, but we can dig deep into this right now,
Get into it. Go for it.
especially since it was mentioned in the chat
The floor is yours.
and Sid mentioned it as well.
The floor is yours.
If I do something to either one of y'all and y'all do the same thing back to me, who's wrong?
Did I physically touch you?
No,
Both.
both are wrong.
Yeah.
Who said it was wrong in the first place? If people felt it wasn't wrong when I did it to you and you do it back to me, are we
Hey,
both wrong? Is one person wrong? Is nobody wrong?
Nobody's wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
It's part of the game.
So doing this is a thing. You know, John Cena says you can't see me. If you're on a basketball court, you're just talking
thank
trash.
you, Lady
It's
A.
nothing major.
Even
Thank
though he
you,
stole
Lady
you.
A.
Not major.
I'm
Thank
with
you.
you.
But
I'm
Thank you.
100% with you.
But here's the thing: when someone does it back to you, going like this, that's what you get. You know what I mean? You was talking trash, you lose. You're gonna get that back in return. I don't feel as though anyone was wrong. So when I see people saying that one person was classless for doing something that both people did, I start to wonder why. Why is one person wrong and the other isn't? Then we have a problem. So that is how I approach this situation. I mean, you guys talk about HR, okay, if I've been in HR for 15 years, if in fact I have an employee that says something to one employee and another employee says something back, if it is inappropriate, then I'm going to say the same thing to the both of them. If it's not appropriate, I mean, if it is appropriate, there's nothing for me to say. Why is one person getting dragged through the mud and the other one isn't? So if you didn't think that one player was wrong, don't put the blame on the other player, especially when it was the second person who did something.
So, you know what I know about sports is this. If you trash talk, you should expect to be trash talked. Those players that don't talk and you trash talk them, they'll tell you, I don't talk, dog. They will tell you, I don't do that trash talk. But those that do trash talk, and she trash talks, she should expect it. And you notice Caitlin ain't.
She not stunting it.
She not saying nothing, and she
still don't care.
Right, and she, dog, you're absolutely right. It is really race driven, because you saw Caitlin waving at the South Carolina girl to shoot the ball because she knows she couldn't shoot.
Right.
She knows she couldn't make a mid-range jumper, and she's just waving her off. She self-checked. Remember you self-check right there, dog. He can't hit water from a boat.
You gonna have to prove you can make this.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think it was race related. I mean, directly.
Between the players is not.
No, not between the players, definitely. Right. But I think that the dragging her through the mud, it's
one
race
is white
related, but
the other one's
actually black. Right. It's deeper than just race.
Just like Dawn said, just like Dawn Staley said, I hear you guys talking about my girls. Right? And Lady A, you put it into our chat. Dawn Staley said, I hear y'all. And the reason I hear y'all talking about them is because I have friends that are amongst y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Don't come for her.
Right.
Don't come for her players.
I think it's deeper than that. It's not just that she is an African-American female. That's not just what it is. It's her aesthetic as a whole. When you see an African-American young lady with her weave and her nails and her lashes and things like that, some people feel as though she is, it's all about stereotypes. They have stereotyped her into being a thug or a hood chick or whatever the case may be. That's what it is. Now, is it based off of race? Yes, they think it, but it's not just that she's a black girl. That's not the only reason. And I don't like it because, as we talked about, you have a certain track star that went through the same thing.
Yep.
My thing about those two in particular is I agree with you that it wasn't nothing wrong with what either one of them did, right?
Right.
The only problem that I do have concerning what Angel did is she went a little OD. She
how?
There was a certain point where it's like, because I don't ever remember Caitlin following anybody around doing it. Like, it was the end of the game, so it's like, okay, whatever. But she should have probably been given a tech because she was just like, I think she went out of her way to make it about Caitlin when it's not about Caitlin. It's about you winning. And I mean, it wasn't like they were even guarding each other. It's like, that's where it was kind of like, okay, that part is just a little too much. But that's just competitiveness amongst two people that are good at what they do.
Yeah.
You know, but it was clear that the media wants to like, I started seeing stuff where people were talking about, oh, the dad put her in the YMCA against boys and they complained. It's like that's where it starts to get a little preferential, and you try to make her look like she's a hero or she's this superwoman. It's like, no, she's a junior who plays basketball who's really good at it.
Right.
And I mean, look, I'll give you an example. I was at Boomer Jacks watching a part of the game before I left, right? And I'm sitting next to this guy. I never met him a day in my life, Caucasian fellow. And it was quite clear to me that he was really rooting specifically for Caitlin. Like, And I'm in there like, no, listen, she's the best thing out there. I'm highly impressed by her. But he kind of was giving off this thing of and I said it first. No, she's special. She's different. He takes it and runs with it. And I'm like, but what you're also not realizing is that LSU has the talent. A team like that that's coached the way that they are, you got to out-talent them consistently. And that was the difference. South Carolina couldn't out-talent them.
No, they didn't have the
LSU got like Doc was saying, they coming in droves. You see what I'm saying? To where even when the kid number 25, I don't know her name, that little one-step move, that ain't working with them. They finna get into your chest. They're long, they're rangy. That stuff don't work. And so he all of that went out the window. And what makes it race related amongst us as human beings is, and this is just how I see it, is that black people almost take the approach of, well, white people run culture in society by and large, not culture, but they run society and they steal from our culture. So at least we can just get this one thing. Can we just, it's clear that this is a predominantly white team. We're on the highest level. Can we just dominate them on this? That'll be just one little thing that feels good to me as a black person. And then the white people take the approach of, well, they're always better than us at these sports. By and large, they're always going to have an upper edge on us. So can we just get this one little win here? I'm gonna not say it, but I'm going to show that I'm rooting for Iowa to win this game. And that's what I kind of saw from the outside, and I don't like that. I'm totally an unbiased person in that regard. I don't have nothing against LSU, and I'm not preferential to Iowa. I just want to see the best players in their respective fields go at it and not let it be this thing. And kind of what I was getting into earlier, when it's like there was some people who said some very disparaging things about Angel that are uncalled for and should never be said. Do you forget that this is a 20-year-old woman? Like, young,
they don't care. Like, they don't care.
You have no couth about you. And I hate that stuff like that gets to be said and nothing happens. But then you will have somebody like Whoopi Goldberg or somebody make comments that aren't wrong, that aren't disparaging, but then will get taken off television for a couple days. You see what I'm saying? That's where it kind of shows you the lines that we stand on. You know,
you can even go back to your squad. Remember when Miami played Notre Dame?
Convicts versus Catholics versus convicts.
Mm-hmm. Miami had one of the greatest runs of talent that come through the U. Remember, the U was a predominantly white school. They were begging people to come play football. They were like, "Nah, man, we're not coming out there." Mm-hmm. Nah, this is the University of Miami. Nah, we're not going out there to play. Just watch Ed Reed on the show, and you'll see it.
Yeah.
But then they got that group of people to come out there of talent in Florida, and next thing you know, the lights went on out there.
So unfortunately, we see that quite often it's not just about your talent.
Right.
And that's what it's supposed to be about. Case in point, someone mentioned it in the chat, and I think Ant spoke up about it as well. For some reason, traditionally, let me go back. Traditionally, the winner of a championship goes to visit the White House. Just the winner. That's it. For some reason, our first lady said that she wanted to invite both teams to the White House. Now, she has since walked that back and has decided that that's not the best thing. Was she talking out of turn because she's unaware? I mean, she was
she was trying to get extra
her
gifts.
husband was the vice president for
trying to get extra gifts and votes.
But I truly believe that she should have kept that to herself and not made that an official statement, because it looks bad, especially in the midst of all of this talk about a breakout star from LSU being called a thug. The timing on that, the timing was awful. I don't like it. I feel like that's also taking away from LSU. They won. They deserve their little White House visit and all the shine and glory that they worked hard for. That's
Yeah.
the point of winning the championship, because there's only one team standing. So with that said, two teams
lady.
shouldn't do it.
Hold on, Lady A. I'm
Mhm.
sorry. Hold on. Amon, that's well said.
But it's wrong.
But it's wrong.
It's just
That's
wrong.
way wrong, because literally after Caitlin dropped 40, she did that. And nobody said nothing about it.
Oh.
She wasn't called a thug. She wasn't called a poor sportsman. None of that. But the minute it happened to her, now the other person's wrong. Come on, Armand. At the end of the day, you're right. You just want to see these young ladies
That's what
battle.
it should be. Yeah, that's what it should
You're
have
absolutely right. But and just like this, there are no rules to trash talking. If you talk trash, expect to get trash talked back to you. So
I mean,
at the
I'm gonna
end
be
of the
honest
day,
with you. I
just
would
like
have
we
done the
said
same.
earlier, just like we said earlier, let's just get this rivalry going. Put these two teams on the schedule next year and let these two young ladies go ball out. Hey, I'm bringing my best four. You bring your best four. Let's go at it, and I'll see you again sometime later on during the year
And
in the
that
NCAA tournament.
game will get numbers. People will watch.
That's what
because
we want.
they want to see the rematch. But I mean, truthfully, I truly believe that it, like I said, it is about race, but at the same time, it's deeper than that, because someone like me, when I was younger, I didn't have, a certain aesthetic. I might have looked like the girl next door, the black girl next door, but I might have looked like the girl next door. So if I would have said something back to her, would that same reaction been there? But because she's perceived as the hood chick, now you want to call her a thug. So I feel like it's a little different, and it's unfortunate. And she's young. That's somebody's kid. Like, she's younger than my daughter.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you now, if that were my kid and the world would say that, I'm trying to come after everybody. I would just be really ignorant about that situation. All on Twitter and everything, but she's holding her own on Twitter. People are adding her. This is a kid. She's young. She's a kid.
We definitely should expect that. We know the world is full of keyboard cowards at this point. That's what they do. I remember it was a kid. I forgot who the team was. It was somebody like DePaul or Memphis. It was a blue team. The kid comes up and misses like 2 free throws, 3 free throws a couple years ago. Automatically starts getting the death threats.
Yeah.
It's like he's a freaking kid in college, bro.
Right.
Like, once again, if it was gambling and you bet money on this, that's your fault.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, stop trying to bully people on the internet, because a lot of these people are cowards in person.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, man. But
they got Debo thumbs. Hey,
a lot of them play Call of Duty.
Yeah, they do. They talk real tough until you find out I just traced your IP address. You lay down.
Right, there you go.
I'm about to knock on your door.
IP address.
I'm about to knock on your door. Yeah, I'm about to knock on your door.
Then they want to be quiet.
Yeah, right.
But hold on. Question to the audience. I don't know if y'all touched on this yet. How y'all feeling about these polos? You know what I'm saying?
But why they have to and stop rubbing on yourself?
I'm just rubbing on the logo, man. How y'all feel about these?
No, you rubbed it. You said both pants, and we don't want to see that.
Wait,
stop,
nah, that's my fault, because I wasn't even trying to be like that. But about that. But anyway, First String Podcast. How y'all feel about that? Do y'all want some? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all want to represent?
Look and say it like, hold on now.
Right.
Say it like, hey.
I'm not leaning in while Aunt doing that.
Okay. I will not going off a full screen until you take that down.
It's only the logo.
It's only the logo.
Down.
First String Podcast, baby.
Right. Armand, you are absolutely correct. This is an HR violation, and we did not need to see all of that. We did not need.
Some of us are just trying to promote the podcast, and other people.
No, you did a little extra.
Well, that's only because y'all went there. I wouldn't even try to do all that.
Hey, what's going to up the lady viewership for us?
No. That's not the way to do it.
Aunt,
put it down, Aunt. Look at Sid. Sid said my eyes.
Oh, yeah.
What's wrong? Something's wrong with him.
Hey, Drew talking about give me a large, man. Hey, no, these are our business attires. You know, we'll ship the t-shirts to y'all. It's the polos.
You're totally missing this. No, this is what the people need to get access.
This is the people want. And always want to get the.
Are you
people
not
want.
entertained? No, seriously. There's no exclusivity, man. And look, you talk about
Hey.
come on, man, that's your best friend. He been rocking since
Hey,
you know what I'm saying. Both y'all was in y'all book.
Yeah.
absolutely
P1
my
ain't-
best friend. That's absolutely my best friend. 9 times out of 10, he's probably gonna steal one when we're on the road together.
There you go.
Well, you ain't got no large on, I'm sure.
What are you talking about? I do.
Why?
Excuse me, Aunt.
Everybody's not.
Everybody
you,
don't want the extra medium.
Aunt. Everybody's not you, Aunt.
I actually didn't want a large. Let's be clear here.
You wanted this medium.
Y'all
You
trying
wanted
to
this
make me
medium.
wear a large.
You wanted this medium.
No, I just want what I actually wear. I don't wear large.
Just
nothing.
keep going to work out. That's how about that? Hey, he said send one to the new owners.
Yes, we will send one to Jeff. You're right.
Send one to
Oh,
Jeff.
Lord.
I think Jeff has the money to buy us.
Hey,
Y'all, at this point, I think y'all will really take anybody who trying to offer.
as long as they got the money.
As long as they
You
got
swell?
that dough.
Hey, somebody came with an old promissory note. You swell. You say swell. Okay.
Said Ant wants his in Cowboys blue, and he already has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one. Well, it's like
Said-
Maverick blue.
Well,
but
it is Dallas
cool, though.
Maverick
I
blue.
like it.
Say it had Bulldog red. Lady A and myself, we have burgundy.
Yeah.
We work
Eventually, I'll have it.
You know who broke the cycle of making us wear those god awful colors? Sid, thank you so much. When Sid started doing the hats, he'll start allowing us to get other colors, and I'm like, you cannot make us wear burgundy freaking shirts and hoodies going to freaking Cowboy
Well,
games.
I
Like,
didn't
come on,
have.
bro.
Excuse me.
Hey.
I didn't have a burgundy shirt. I had pink.
I don't wear toddler size. First off, all right.
Metaphor is so petty.
Send one to Magic.
He
Jeff will
said
put
you
it
were
on.
a
Jeff's
child.
gonna
That's
put it
terrible.
on Amazon. I appreciate it.
No, he's not. We're just trying to encourage him to go forward with the sale. That's all.
Hey, he said, "What is your preference? Do you want the Harris group or the Bezos group?" I actually, yes,
You gotta
Lady A, go
start with
ahead.
that and
Who,
then
you
say
like? You
what's
like
your
who?
preference.
I would
Don't start with
prefer
what's your preference.
Bezos. One owner. He has the money. He has the pull to get a stadium in his desired location.
Yeah, because he's gonna pay for everything.
It's a clean. If Bezos were the owner, it's a clean sale. You don't have to worry about all these other people. No, and like kind of what Ant said, he don't have to sign a promissory note.
Right.
All right, look,
so silly.
me, I'm gonna tell you something. I thought about this, and I thought that Harris is from DC, Rails is from DC. Matter of fact, Rails has a free museum that anyone can go tour. He doesn't charge you to enter the museum. I think that group right there, being in DC, just like I sort of alluded to with Doc,
But hold on,
they
Pitt.
know the
All
area.
the museums in DC are
well,
free.
But hold on. But here's the downfall to it is they would, because they're scrounging to borrow money now. So I see the downfall is like they're going to pay $6 billion and then they're going to have to ask the league for another $6 billion to build a stadium. Right. So now they're in the whole $12 billion. Meanwhile,
Pick Smithsonian got the museums on lock and they're free.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
You can't even say he has a museum that's free of charge. No, like that's the privilege of going to DC and the museum. He is in Northwest Bama.
She dog,
killing me with this Bama.
Yeah, he be talking my language, man. He talks my language when I get on here and I start talking the way I'm supposed to.
But that's true. He's in Northwest Bama.
He's a Bama. He's a Bama. You got me
there was
excited.
only like 4 people from Alabama.
It's not about Alabama.
That's not. This is nothing about Bama, Alabama. Yeah, it's nothing.
It's a way of life.
It's the way we talk in DC.
It's like pretty much Harris grew up in DC. He's a Northwest guy.
Northwest Bama.
No, I get the connotation of it, but I'm like, I was just wondering, like,
where it came from.
No, like, it's Dang it, never mind. I don't want to.
We're gonna have to
know what I'm
explain
trying
it
to
to
say.
you
but I
off
don't wanna
air.
hold up
talking
the show.
Alabama,
We
when
gotta
we're
explain
No,
it
no,
to
not
you
even
off
that
air.
part.
we're
This
only talking Alabama Avenue, and that's not
Mm-mm.
no, that's not it. That's not it. That's not it.
See, we gotta take
Kind
it
of
to
like it's a
DC.
type of person. You get what I'm
Nah.
saying?
it is a type of person. It
Yeah,
is.
That's
we
what I
gotta
was
take-
making reference to.
And we gotta take you to DC and get you indoctrinated into this whole thing, bro. Don't
I'd
worry.
rather die. No, just
No, he lying. He gonna Ant gonna come to
Hey.
DC. He gonna be in the go-go.
He-
He gonna
yeah,
be
he'll be all
No,
the-
I'm not gonna lie to you. I do not like go-go.
He gonna be all in the mumbo
you
sauce
have
and
to
everything.
Go to the go-go. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's
Listening,
totally different than
you
listening.
have to go. That's the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah, and say it. You ready?
Yes, sir.
And I'll get you next episode.
Yep.
Oh, you got country Bama,
Harris,
Texas Bama.
Harris
What
is
you
a
got for
Northwest
me?
thug, not a thug.
Oh Lord.
What y'all call?
Why y'all call people young?
It's just like
Hey,
this guy, like
it's just what you do.
young.
Like, man, come on, y'all go.
If
y'all
we
gonna
went
make-
into DC slang,
y'all
we
about
would
to
be
make me
here
go all
night
the way
because
left.
it's
Y'all about to make me
difficult
go all
to-
the way left.
like
Say it. Let's do
Joe
it.
and Mo and all that stuff. That's different.
Joe, that's what we do. Yep, Joe and Mo. That's the lingo. Hey, say it. Thank y'all for watching. We really appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for hanging in there. We want to thank Doc, our special guest today. Make sure you subscribe to Doc Walker Podcast and Doc's on Team 980 Burgundy and Gold. The Burgundy and Gold today. Check him out. Support him. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the First String Podcast. Give us that good thumbs up. Leave comments. And don't forget to tell a friend about First String Podcast. Shouts out to my son, United States Air Force. First String Podcast, second to none. Come get some. Tell him, say it.
No dogs.
Go Dogs. Wave game.
Ready for your beats? My first song to the person.